What if I told you there's a country where fairy tale palaces perch on misty mountain peaks, where golden beaches hide secret caves that look like underground cathedrals, and where medieval cities cascade down hillsides in a riot of colorful tiles that make every street look like a living artwork? Welcome to Portugal, Europe's most underrated Atlantic paradise. I've uncovered 15 destinations across Portugal that will make you understand why this tiny Atlantic nation punches way above its weight in pure beauty and cultural richness. From volcanic islands that look like tropical paradises in the middle of the Atlantic to wine valleys carved by Romans, Portugal is where European sophistication meets oceanic adventure. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal the Portugal that exists beyond Lisbon tourism. These are places where Portuguese explorers launched expeditions that changed world history, where monasteries seem to float among clouds, where every sunset over the Atlantic makes you understand why this is called Europe's California. Get ready to discover the most romantic country on the Atlantic. Number 15. Sintra, where Portuguese royalty and eccentric nobles built the most romantic palace complex in Europe, creating a misty mountain kingdom that looks like it was designed by fairy tale architects with unlimited budgets and perfect taste. This isn't just a town with palaces. It's a living fairy tale. Pena Palace's rainbow-colored towers rise from mystical forests like a Disney castle come to life, while Quinta da Regalera features mysterious initiation wells and underground grottos that feel like exploring a Dan Brown novel. The entire UNESCO World Heritage Site sits in microclimates that allow tropical plants to thrive alongside European gardens, creating landscapes that seem botanically impossible. Walking Sintra feels like being inside a romantic movie where every scene was designed to make you believe in magic. Number 14. Porto, where the entire riverside district creates a UNESCO World Heritage Site of such architectural beauty that every building looks like it was painted by Portuguese masters who specialize in making reality more beautiful than dreams. This city doesn't just have beautiful architecture, it is architectural art. The Ribeira district's colorful houses tumble down to the Douro River like a waterfall of Mediterranean beauty, while São Bento Station's azulejo tiles tell Portugal's entire history in ceramic art. Livraria Lello bookstore inspired the Harry Potter films with its magical curved staircase, while port wine cellars across the river age liquid gold in oak barrels older than most countries. Exploring Porto feels like wandering through a living museum where every street corner reveals new masterpieces. Number 13. Benagil Cave in the Algarve, where the Atlantic Ocean carved a natural cathedral with a golden dome opening to the sky, creating what many call the most beautiful sea cave in the world. This isn't just a cave, it's nature's own Sistine Chapel built from golden limestone, accessible only by kayak, swimming, or boat. The cave's golden walls glow like honey when sunlight streams through the natural skylight, creating a beach inside a cathedral that feels like discovering Atlantis. The surrounding Algarve coast features over 150 beaches connected by hiking trails that reveal hidden coves, natural arches, and cliff formations so dramatic they look like sculpture gardens carved by giants. Experiencing Benagil feels like finding nature's most secret masterpiece. Number 12. The Azores, where 9 volcanic islands create Portugal's tropical paradise in the middle of the Atlantic, featuring crater lakes, thermal springs, and landscapes so lush they look like Jurassic Park filmed in European territory. These islands are like discovering Hawaii with Portuguese charm. Sete Cidades features twin crater lakes, one blue, one green, that create the most photographed natural wonder in Portugal, while Furnace Valley offers thermal springs where locals still cook traditional cozido stew underground using volcanic heat. The islands are home to Europe's only tea plantations, whale watching that rivals Hawaii, and hiking trails through landscapes that change from tropical to alpine within hours. Living in the Azores feels like having a permanent vacation in paradise that happens to have European infrastructure. Number 11. Douro Valley, where 2,000-year-old terraced vineyards climb steep hillsides like giant staircases leading to heaven, creating a UNESCO World Heritage landscape that produces port wine and some of the most spectacular river scenery in Europe. This is wine country perfection. The Romans carved these terraces into solid schist rock, And today they produce wines that age in quintas wine estates that have operated continuously for centuries. River cruises past medieval villages perched on impossible slopes, while harvest season turns the entire valley into a golden amphitheater where every hillside tells the story of Portuguese viticulture. The traditional Rebelo boats that once carried port wine barrels to Porto now offer the most romantic river journeys in Europe. Experiencing Douro feels like sailing through liquid poetry written in terraced stone. Number 10. Abados, where a perfectly preserved medieval town sits inside ancient walls like a jewelry box containing Portugal's most romantic village. This town was literally given as a wedding gift from Portuguese kings to their queens for over 500 years. Talk about romantic real estate. Walking Abados's narrow cobblestone streets feels like stepping into a medieval fairy tale where whitewashed houses overflow with bougainvillea and every corner reveals new architectural treasures. The town's medieval castle is now a luxury posada where you can literally sleep in royal quarters, while the local ginger cherry liqueur served in chocolate cups creates the perfect medieval cocktail experience. During medieval festivals, the entire town transforms into a living history lesson where knights, artisans, and troubadours recreate life from 800 years ago. Number 9. Montserrat, where a 13th century fortress village perches on a hilltop overlooking Europe's largest artificial lake, creating one of the world's best stargazing destinations in a medieval setting that looks like it belongs in Game of Thrones. This is where medieval meets cosmic. Designated as the world's first starlight tourism destination, Montserrat offers some of the darkest skies in Europe, making it perfect for astronomical observation from a village that has remained virtually unchanged for 700 years. The Algarve Lake creates a microclimate that enhances stargazing while providing water sports and lakeside beaches in an inland setting. Medieval festivals and astronomical events combine to create a unique tourism experience where you can attend medieval banquets and telescope sessions in the same evening. Number 8. Cabo da Roca, the westernmost point of continental Europe, where dramatic cliffs rise 140 meters above the Atlantic Ocean, creating the place Portuguese poet Camões called where the land ends and the sea begins. This is literally where Europe meets eternity. The lighthouse has guided ships around Europe's most dangerous corner for over 150 years, while hiking trails offer some of the most spectacular coastal scenery on the continent. During sunset, the cliffs glow golden while the Atlantic stretches to infinity, creating a natural theater where you can literally watch the sun disappear into the edge of the world. The official certificate proving you've stood at Europe's westernmost point makes this a bucket list destination that combines geographic significance with breathtaking natural beauty. Number 7. Aveiro, where colorful Molicero boats navigate canals between Art Nouveau buildings covered in azulejo tiles, creating a uniquely Portuguese version of Venice that's somehow more charming than the original. This is water city perfection with Portuguese soul. The traditional Molicero boats were originally used to harvest seaweed from the lagoon and are now hand-painted with humorous and often irreverent folk art that makes every boat tour an outdoor comedy show. The nearby Costa Nova beach features striped wooden houses that look like a seaside candy store, while traditional Ovos moles sweet egg treats are created in shapes representing local maritime culture. Exploring Aveiro feels like discovering Venice's more colorful and relaxed Portuguese cousin. Number 6. Batala Monastery, where Portuguese Gothic architecture reaches its absolute peak in a UNESCO World Heritage Monastery that took over 150 years to build and still remains mysteriously unfinished. This is architectural ambition made manifest in stone. Built to commemorate Portugal's victory at the Battle of Algarve in 1385, the monastery showcases the unique Manueline architectural style that blends Gothic structure with maritime-inspired decorative elements reflecting Portugal's age of exploration. The unfinished chapels remain roofless after 500 years, creating an outdoor cathedral where sky serves as the ceiling and weather becomes part of the architectural experience. The royal cloister's intricate stonework demonstrates Portuguese medieval craftsmanship at its most sophisticated level. Number 5. Coimbra, home to one of Europe's oldest universities, where the spectacular Joanina Library houses 300,000 ancient books in Baroque halls so beautiful they look like literary palaces designed by scholar kings. This is where knowledge built its most magnificent home. Founded in 1290, the university's Baroque library employs colonies of bats to protect ancient manuscripts from insects, creating a living ecosystem where literature and nature collaborate. Students still wear traditional black robes and participate in academic rituals that have continued for over 700 years, while Coimbra Fado, a distinct style from Lisbon Fado, expresses the melancholy and joy of student life. The university's bell tower marks academic time across a city where medieval streets climb from the Mondego River to this temple of Portuguese learning. Number 4, Madeira, where a volcanic island in the Atlantic creates a subtropical paradise with an ingenious system of levadas irrigation channels that provide some of the most spectacular hiking in Europe through landscapes that change from desert to rainforest within hours. This is Portugal's tropical secret. The levada system, built over 500 years, channels mountain water through 2,500 kilometers of channels that create hiking trails through every microclimate on the island. You can walk from subtropical forests with exotic flowers to alpine peaks, where snow occasionally falls, all while surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. Madeira wine ages in volcanic caves. Traditional toboggan rides provide unique transportation down steep streets, and the New Year's fireworks display holds world records for spectacular celebration. Living on Madeira feels like having permanent residence in the Garden of Eden. Number 3, Évora, where a perfectly preserved Roman temple shares space with a chapel decorated entirely with human bones, creating a UNESCO World Heritage City that spans 2,000 years of Portuguese history, from ancient glory to medieval memento mori. This is where life meets death in architectural harmony. The Roman Temple of Diana, actually dedicated to the imperial cult, survived 2,000 years virtually intact, while the Chapel of Bones displays 5,000 human skulls and bones arranged in decorative patterns with the inscription, "We bones here are waiting for yours." The surrounding Alentejo region contains Europe's largest megalithic site at Almendras Cromlech, older than Stonehenge, while cork oak forests produce the world's finest cork and landscapes that have remained unchanged for millennia. Exploring Évora feels like traveling through time while contemplating eternity. Number 2, Cascais, where Portuguese royalty created their summer resort, and where dramatic Atlantic coastlines meet Belle Epoque elegance, creating a sophisticated seaside destination that rivals the French Riviera but maintains authentic Portuguese charm. This is coastal luxury with soul. The dramatic Boca do Inferno Hell's Mouth creates natural theater where Atlantic waves crash into limestone cliffs, while nearby Guincho Beach offers world-class surfing and windsurfing in a setting that looks like California but feels distinctly European. The historic center combines royal elegance with contemporary Portuguese culture, featuring museums, galleries, and restaurants that attract both international sophisticates and local families. The coastal hiking trail connects dramatic scenery with cultural attractions, creating active luxury that defines modern Portuguese lifestyle. And number 1, Pena Palace in Sintra, where King Ferdinand II created the most romantic palace in Europe, combining architectural styles from across the world in a colorful masterpiece that looks like it was designed by someone who wanted to build a fairy tale that could actually be inhabited. This is romance-made architectural. Built in the 1840s, the palace combines Gothic, Renaissance, Moorish, and Manueline architectural elements in brilliant yellows, reds, and gray that create the most photographed palace in Portugal. The surrounding park contains over 500 species of trees from around the world, creating botanical diversity that matches the architectural eclecticism. From the palace terraces, you can see from the Atlantic Ocean to the Spanish border, while the royal apartments preserve 19th century romantic lifestyle in perfect detail. Standing in Pena Palace feels like being inside the ultimate romantic fantasy made real through royal vision and unlimited resources. From fairy tale palaces perched on misty peaks to golden sea caves that look like natural cathedrals, from volcanic islands that create tropical paradise in the Atlantic, to medieval villages where time stopped in the most beautiful way possible. Portugal isn't just Europe's best kept secret. It's proof that romance, adventure, and authentic culture can coexist in perfect harmony. What makes Portugal absolutely magical is how it combines world-class natural beauty with genuine cultural authenticity. You can explore royal palaces in the morning, surf Atlantic waves in the afternoon, and listen to fado music in traditional taverns at night, all while experiencing Portuguese saudade, that uniquely Portuguese feeling of bittersweet longing that makes every experience more meaningful. Now here's my Atlantic challenge for you. If this video convinced you that Portugal is Europe's most romantic secret, prove it with your adventurous heart. Drop if you want to explore those fairy tale palaces, if you're ready for those Atlantic adventures, or if you want to taste wine in valleys older than most countries. Let's see which Portuguese paradise calls to your romantic soul. But here's my sautéed promise. If this video helps us reach 100,000 subscribers, I'll create the ultimate Portugal romantic route, covering every palace, every hidden beach, every secret wine valley. Plus, I'll reveal the local fado houses where tourists never go, and Portuguese souls are bared through music. Hit subscribe, and let's discover Portugal's most passionate secrets together. And if you're enchanted by Portugal's Atlantic romance, wait until next week when we explore Czech Republic, where fairy tale Prague castles reflect in ancient rivers, where beer culture reaches artistic perfection, and where every cobblestone street tells stories of emperors, artists, and revolutionaries. Until then, keep believing that romance has a geographic address. Keep seeking authentic beauty in unexpected places, and I'll see you in the next incredible adventure. Até logo, beautiful souls.